Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Young Hot Guys. Joining me in studio today is Killian Sundermann. Killian is a stand-up comedian, an internet sensation, a German and a van lifer. And Killian is joining me in studio today to talk about the downfall of Tony Cantwell.
Yeah.
Tony Cantwell, of course, for those who don't know, was 1/3 of this podcast and is now, as it stands, 27 minutes late for our appointment.
They're attractive.
They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Byrne.
How about there's a chicken, right? And it's a lovely sunny summer's day. People are kind of took it into a nice frosty kind of re-raw, right? And they crack it open, and then a chicken pops out, right? A chicken puppa, and goes, crack into a re-raw. What do you think of that?
Mate, just make that the ad.
That's the ad.
That's the ad?
That's the bloody ad.
For re-raw?
That's incredible.
For re-raw.
Okay.
Are Irish Lager who sponsor our podcast?
Yes, them. The very same, and they apparently have chickens.
Yeah, and they make a light fresh lager in Kilcool, County Wicklow, an independent brewery at independent prices.
Oof. Delicious. Go wrong. Crack into a re-raw.
And it's just turning 28 and 20 seconds now after you've done that introduction. And I guess like the downfall of Tony Cantwell, I mean, it all starts at the beginning when he did that sort of, he was like a Facebook guy. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah, a Facebook comedian.
Yeah.
I mean, not a real comedian.
No, I mean, in no sense of the word, real comedian. But I mean, the downfall starts sort of at the peak.
What's it all about, the Tony Cantwell thing?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to cast aspersions.
Put too fine a point on it
but,
either. Yeah.
I mean, can you explain the inexplicable? But I suppose we'll attempt to do that. Sort of the sort of bastion for the perverse. A realm for the wicked.
A clown, but with no skill.
Yes.
No training,
Yeah.
but sees himself very much as the greatest comedian of all time. And he has his own solo podcast, which if you want to listen to something like that, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, again, I said it's more for those more sordid, perverse-minded of you. This is more the highbrow kind of thing, where we discuss literature, cultural analysis, and sort of, I guess the downfall of once loved comedians. Was Tony Cantwell ever loved? Maybe by his wife. I have my doubts, and maybe his children. But do they respect him?
It's more a duty than a love, I suppose. And you know. And it is funny, Killian, to think of this now. I mean, a lot of comedians, their downfall would be usually they're cancelled in some way. They're a vociferous pervert,
yes,
something like that. Whereas Tony, he's been cancelled due to just being late.
Yes.
And what do you think? What are next steps for him? Because I know you do a lot of work in PR. What do you think are next steps for Tony to really build his way back up into public favour and
It's
indeed
hard,
amongst his colleagues?
Because
it must be terrible to be in the Young Hot Guys podcast at the moment because they're getting all this negative. They're in the papers for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no press is bad press, except if it's involving a certain bearded, glassed, long-haired gentleman. But it's, in sort of, in terms of next steps, I think it's got to be for Mr. Cantwell to kind of be aware, kind of do a lot of work on himself, because I know we all in society think of steps going up and this kind of like a glass half full kind of thing. But I think, unfortunately for Tony, the steps are going to be going down. And obviously with his age, I'm worried about his knees. I'm worried about his mental health. And I think that in that sense, it's not looking great for him.
I know,
and we have just reached 30 minutes late.
You say
Tony
30.
Cantwell.
My watch actually says 31, and the clock in studio says 29. So, I mean, there's a lot of grey areas.
Yeah,
around this as well.
I'm not trying to say that there's nuance to every situation.
No, and of course, the online discourse there's no room for nuance there either, is there?
Well, yeah, I mean, God, if you're looking at the world today, nuance is not what the thing that you're going to find. It's a lot. But again, there's grey areas in what we're talking about. And to some people, Tony is, if we were doing this podcast in Italy, maybe this would be appropriate. But we're not. We're in Ireland, and unfortunately, he is late, and he's off the podcast.
He does need to be held to account. How do you feel about us doing a duo podcast? It's different.
Yeah.
See, when I did the duo with Tony, it was like I've done Tony's podcast before, just me and Tony, so that felt more like I understood what I was doing. But now I feel like I'm sitting in my usual seat because I know Tony is going to arrive. Oh, by the way, Tony's coming.
Tony is coming. Yeah, he's on his way. He's cycling furiously across town.
Yes, and we hope he cycles safely.
We do. Yeah.
But we've done things together before.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this more feels like, because Tony is sort of the seasoned podcaster, maybe it feels a bit more like teachers not here.
But do we need that energy?
No.
I think we're good on our own.
Yeah. Speaking as someone whose parents were teachers, who needs them? You know, who needs parents, really? Who needs any person of authority in your life?
Yeah. I mean, Tony's a nice guy.
No. Oh, he's a nice guy.
But, you know, you have to look at, you got to think of the podcast as a brick wall. You've got to poke all those bricks. Any of those bricks going to fall out. You know what I mean? And Tony might be one.
Yeah, he might be the loose brick that topples the Statue of Liberty.
We did do things together. We did videos back in the day.
Yeah, we did. I actually fondly remember, I was just thinking of the other day, the sketch that we did where it was during the pandemic, and it was really a few months, maybe even like half a year into the pandemic, and people had no more anecdotes to give. Like everyone, the banana bread, all that kind of conversation had gone, and it was like we were actually tired of those kind of things.
Yeah.
And there was actually nothing. There was nothing had happened in anyone's lives. People were really tired and stuff, and we kind of used that and then made a sketch about two people meeting up outside and trying to talk to each other, but there's just nothing to talk about,
which feels a bit like what we're doing now. I was so productive in those times when nothing was happening, though. How come you're supposed to be like a creative person, an artist, and be like inspired by the events going on around you?
Yeah,
I am struggling. Like, I don't know how I come in here every week and chat because there's no thoughts in my head at the moment.
I thought you did your writing week. Didn't you do?
Yeah, but I did. When I went away to go do writing and I end up doing, you do your admin, don't you? Then you do this and you send invoices and you do things and put things in folders on my computer.
Sharpen your pencils, make sure they're all
sharp.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And I don't get me wrong, I love putting things in a folder. I do love that. Like, that is, I was a public servant, a pen pusher for a number of years. And I tell you, there's nothing like when you hand over your job to someone else and say, you'll find it all in the folders. And they're like, okay, which folder? And you're like, open it. And then they're like, wow, this is so well labeled. And I'm like, yeah.
So you've got, all your stuff is very well labeled, but you don't have a creative thing to show for it?
I think basically the pressure, what happens is, right, you be a comedian, you have a good time, and then you just go out and do jokes about whatever you want all the time. Then you make a show. Then you bring that show to Edinburgh. And then you tour that show when you come home. And then it's your only job. So you then have to go, well, I need a new show because I need to go to Edinburgh again. I need to come home and tour it again.
Yeah. And But
the show is called Trouble Denim.
Trouble Denim? Explain that to me.
It's like double denim, but trouble.
Oh, thruple. Thruple denim.
Trouble. Tribloid. You're going to be in trouble with me. Okay, this is now, I'm now sitting.
Sorry, no, I get it. That's so good.
I'm saying it now because it'll be by the time
denim.
I'll have put this on the internet by the time this podcast comes out, so I don't mind saying the title now. Trouble Denim.
So are you going to wear double denim on the...
I'm wearing double denim in the picture.
In the picture. Okay.
But Edinburgh would be very warm.
The Canadian tuxedo.
In all the rooms. So I don't know. I love double denim.
It's very much in. I wore it the other day, and I went to the pub and I was wearing like a jean jacket and then blue jeans, both top and down. And
top and down,
as they say in Fashion Week. And I like actually had to lean over to Anna and just go like, Anna, do I look like a fucking idiot? Because I caught sight of myself and I was like, this is embarrassing. I feel embarrassed. But she was like, no, this is cool now. Yeah. I actually got a pair of faint blue white jeans. I got them in New York City and I was really proud of them.
Are they vintage?
They're vintage. They're like, in America, the jeans are unbelievable. They have great jeans over there. They know, I tell you what, the Americans, they know how to do jeans. Blue jean girl. And I was walking past, I was at my parents' house, I was walking past our neighbour and he was doing some work in the garden and he was like, oh, nice jeans. And I was like, oh, thanks, they're new. I got back from New York.
Your neighbour complimented your jeans?
Yeah, he said, oh, like nice jeans. And I was like, oh, thank you very much. He's like, now those jeans, that colour. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that would be, often people would think that's not a very nice colour, Like those kind of light blue jeans, like people wouldn't really like those. Did you say,
wind your neck in, you little perv?
And I was like, okay, cool. And then he's like, you guys are going for a swim? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, cool.
Creep.
Just insulted me. I know, he's a good man. He's a nice man.
I don't have the legs for the jeans I want. I inherited legs from my mother's side of the family.
Excuse me, the man who's famously got the best legs in showbiz.
Yeah, but I want I want a different type of legs. Oh my God, Young Hot Guys, of course, is a fitness podcast. That's actually what our origin story is. This is a fitness podcast about getting sexy and fit.
Yes.
Or sexy as feeling sexy.
Yeah,
Getting fit but feeling sexy. That's what it's all about.
Sexy. You're just finding the sexy inside
Find
you.
your sexy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Turned out my sexy was in my gallbladder, and you just got to look inside, and then you find it. You know.
Yeah.
And that's you really only when I do an MRI in the stomach region is when people
They're
really
like, your sexy is full of stones.
Yeah. We're going to have to remove your sexy, Killian. It's not looking good.
No, I'm gonna release a gene line. It's gonna be. It's called Shane. It's gonna be Shane. Find your sexy. Tony can do the voiceover. Shane, find your sexy.
Is that your Tony?
No, not really. Don't know what I was doing.
This is my Tony. It's down here. It's down. It's so deep. His voice is so deep. His voice is so
Deeper.
deep. So deep. He talks in the Jungle Book. You know, the lion in the Jungle Book.
Go full sexy.
Go full sexy with Shane Daniel Byrne.
That sounds so bad.
I want him to arrive now. I mean, he's taking the piss. It's now, okay, let's review all the clocks. My watch says 38.
Okay, so we're doing another clock. I'm at 37:44. So he's now 37 by my watch, which
I know.
is German time.
So what have we done now? We've podcasted as a duo for 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, and you know what? It's
People
good. He's making a big error here because I'm liking it more and more as it goes on, and it'll get to the stage when like I might reach over. There's a key in that door right now, and I might just reach over and lock the door, and we will do the entire podcast with Tony banging on the door, going, "Guys, please!" Or,
Guys, please.
Did you listen
Guys,
to us?
please.
Did you listen to us?
I did, yeah.
What was it like? I tried to ask you the other day, but we kept chatting about something.
I was a little like uncomfortable because I was like, "This is really funny and it's really nice," and I was away, and I got to experience what it's like listening to the Young Hot Guys podcast and having a nice kind of like, oh, that's nice. Like I'm away from home, and it had a nice kind of like homey feel to it. And I was out there with my friends, and but I was also jealous and scared, and I was like, fuck,
that
this
we'd
is
move
good.
on without
Yeah,
you.
you'd
And
move
go,
on
this
without
is a
me.
good dynamic.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
luckily,
like, God, they really bounced off each other, and then I'm like, wait, fuck.
Thankfully,
but also it was I was also
stop
able to
talking.
go.
I said luckily, then I said thankfully. I had a fun joke lined up there, and you wouldn't let me have
Wait,
it.
we'll go again. But then also I found like that we can tee it.
Well, luckily,
yeah?
Killian, there is no danger of this being a good dynamic today or something. No, you ruined it. Okay.
Well, I didn't ruin it. It's because you we had a nice thing going on, and then you just
No, I'm
cast
sorry.
aspersions on the situation.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail. I am intrigued this week because in the Young Hot Guys WhatsApp group was hopping with scandal from you because you had a run-in with a man on the internet. Mm-hmm. I want you to. Do you want to share it?
Well, yeah. I mean,
share it. Yeah.
Actually, do you know what I did? Because I know how bad I am at looking for stuff on my phone. I actually teed it up. I have it ready.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So basically, there's this guy. His name's Yannick, and he's on the internet. He's a German comedian, and he basically one day must have, he's trying to get content out there. He does kind of stuff where it's like Germans when you do this, Germans when you do that, kind of hack stuff. Really, I wouldn't, comparing German personalities and different types of personalities.
He sounds very dull.
Yeah, very drivel, like bottom of the barrel hack material. Anyway, he put up a video there a couple of days ago, which is word for word my Kuchen video. Like it's literally,
which was a very big video you had.
This is it. Okay, I mean,
would you like a slice of cake? Oh, that looks delicious, but no, I couldn't possibly say yes to that. No. Come on, just take it. Stop it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I want you to have it. Come on, take it.
That's literally my video, word for word. Like he actually must have taken time to transcribe it, then learn off the bits, and then do it. Like fucking word for word my thing.
What's your language?
No, I'm fucking pissed.
You watch your mouth, actually.
No, sorry, okay, apologies.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Anyway, he did that, and I only found out about it because people were tagging me and stuff like that. And someone tagged me early on, and I saw it. And then, my. Would you look at the time? 41 by my clock.
I'm so sorry.
For audio listeners, Tony has arrived in. He's wearing shorts again, and he has brought a jug of water.
Sorry, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't find
of water.
I found the closest.
Do you want to go get a glass?
No, that's fine. I'll drink it out
Ladies
of the
and gentlemen, the late Tony Cantwell.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. Sorry, what incredible.
No, tell us
anecdote.
about what had you so
Why
late.
are you so late?
Well, our agent Duck.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's his fault. No, it's not. He lent me one of those kind of Madonna mics for when I was doing my sexy cat stripper bit from the show. Tickets
yes.
still available. Ticketmaster, a little plug there.
Wow.
You
Okay.
come
Wow.
in late and you immediately start plugging.
We'll be
And-
plugging at the end. Come on now.
Plugging myself rotten around the clock, and I was using it for the Bureau de Change when I did my sexy vampire bit, and then I couldn't find it because I'd misplaced it with the rest of the mics, and he's picking it up later, and I feel bad for Foil Arms and Hog actually. So
Yeah, they need their radio
they
mics,
need their
yeah.
radio mics.
And isn't
you know.
Terry always telling you to clean your stuff and you're not doing it, and now you're finding it, and now it's affecting your professional life.
It is affecting and my relationships with people, and I'm so sorry. And I have revoluted you both €3.
€3.
Yeah.
Which is an accurate representation to how much we get paid on this podcast.
Yes, it is very much so. Yeah, for 40. Oh my God, the clock's right there. That's so. Oh my God.
We have reviewed actually the clocks. You'll listen back in the future.
I'm sorry,
We reviewed
can't
the
wait.
clocks twice. There's 3 different clocks here.
Yeah.
Please
There's
don't
been a
cross
clock
your arms. I'm
counter.
so
No,
sorry.
I won't, unfortunately.
No, actually, I'm going to cross mine, and then I'll uncross.
What have we covered? What
We were
singers
here
can I
early
throw in?
and we hung out with Emma Doran and Deirdre O'Kane and
the
Laura
Keep It
Green
Tight.
of the Keep It Tight podcast.
Oh my God.
We were all hanging out and laugh
Yeah,
together.
Oh, it was so
You laugh.
fun. Oh my God.
We should
We
get them
took
on.
pictures.
Oh, I got a snot in
Little
my
photo
nose.
shoot.
Oh my God, I got a snot in my nose as well.
He comes in, he starts plugging. The thing he should be plugging is his fucking nose.
Now, Killian, we've had an update in the story in that Tony Cantwell had actually arrived
Yes.
late to the podcast. What's probably going through the heads of the young hot guys at this point?
Well, I have a name on the. I have an insider on the ground, and they're saying that there's it feels off the podcast. It feels very off. People are
we have
uncomfortable.
a live link. Let's
have a live
let's
link.
check back and
Let's
see
check
what's
back
going
in.
on.
So, Tony,
Don't know if
how's
I
your
did it
nose?
good. Look, it's fine. It's only Shane can see it. My nose is fine. The edge is fine. Bono is fine.
My nose
How's
is that
Adam?
an unknown
Alan?
member? of
Adam
YouTube?
Clayton.
Whatever. He was the hot one.
Larry.
Larry Mullen's the hot one.
I know, but
Larry
Adam,
Mullen's still hot.
Adam Clayton was like married to Naomi Campbell. Like he was.
Yeah, but
Hooking up with
sometimes
supermodels, like
yeah,
90s
but like
supermodels.
Heidi Klum was married to Seal.
Claudia Schiffer was married to David Copperfield.
Oh,
David Copperfield.
Copperfield.
The Charles Dickens character.
No,
Yes.
no. There is a David Copperfield magician who is now facing a number of allegations.
I can't believe
it's showbiz, baby.
Our reference to David Copperfield, who was a big '90s magician. You go even further, like I don't get what you're talking about. You talking about from the 19th century?
The Dickensian eponymous hero of David Copperfield.
No, the magician, and I saw him fly above my head in the Point Depot.
Strings attached or something.
No strings,
Oh,
no
you
strings
actually flew.
attached.
He flew.
He did fly because he flew through hoops.
I'm betting to the camera now because the same thing happened. See, when we did the 2 people,
Yeah.
I obviously have intimacy issues, so I can't look at you when I'm just as 2 of them.
Sure.
So I was sharing my gaze with the lens of the camera, and now, by the way, we're on YouTube every week. And now that you're back, Tony, I still can't look to my left or right. Even
That's
though you're
okay.
here, I'm just going to
So
stare down the
professional.
lens.
So professional.
What am I going to do? What's wrong with me?
I like
You'd be
this.
good on the
I
X
like
Factor.
talking to you.
Who's
the side of
something
your
in the X
face.
Factor? They always said you're doing great with the cameras. My mum, when we're watching Eurovision, she's always like, "Oh, she does great camera work." And it's literally if they look down the barrel of the lens like that, she's like, "Great camera work. I'm giving her a vote for that." I'm
Yeah,
like,
but they're all
looking at the
it's
camera.
not like fluke.
She gives great face. If they were doing an X Factor, you know the way they do the kind of like here they are auditions, judges' homes, and then
Judges'
and then
houses.
judges' houses, and then they do the reveal of this is what they're going to look like next week. They have that kind of makeover.
Yeah.
What do you think they do to you? Or what do you think they would change to make you more palatable to the mainstream audience, the ITV audience?
okay, I don't know if they can make us.
You'd be over 30s,
younger.
by the way. You'd be over 30s.
You know that at the start that was over 25s?
Oh.
So there was boys, girls groups, and the overs, and the overs were over 25. I was talking to someone about this the other day about
The over
age.
30s.
Somebody who was I talking to? This girl I knew,
In with the 60-year-olds.
and she was when I met her, I was 21, and she was 27. I was 20, just turned 21, and she was 27, and I remember thinking, God, it's never going to happen for her, is it? Like,
Yeah.
she's doomed. I was like, she's doomed.
Yes.
She's not married. She's no kids. Like,
Oh my
she's
God.
fucked.
Oh, God.
Like, I remember really sincerely thinking that and going, God, she must be so lonely.
What was her name?
I'm not telling her name. Actually, you know what?
Did she ever make it?
She has 2 lovely babies and a man. I don't know if they're married or not, but they live on the coast.
Oh, well then kill him.
Somewhere by the sea.
They live on the coast.
Oh, well, they live on the west coast.
That's still the coast.
America?
It's my friend Surah. Surah, if you're listening to this book, I don't think you do. But if you are, that's what I thought of you when I first met you. But it's okay because I was 21. I was literally turned 21 a few days before.
She's haggard.
No, I didn't think she was haggard. I just thought like she maybe, I didn't understand time and life. And I thought like, oh, she's blown it.
But also what we have around us is kind of people who would be like, all right, we're copping off. This is 23. This is the life partner for, the norm that we're kind of used to if it kind of breaks free of that. What would Surah think? If you want to send in, Surah, what you would actually thought of Shane for first impressions, 21 year old little brat. Please do send in YHG.
She did a very good joke on this thing we were doing where this lady went around and offered anyone a sweet and she was like, would you like one of these sweets? And she said it like that. And then Zora came over. This is a joke, whatever. That's like 16 years ago or something. But I still laugh at it in my head where she went, just after the lady said, would you like one of these sweets? She said, would you like one of these? And what she had was a paper cup full of screws. It really made me laugh.
That's a good bit.
Yeah, it's a good bit.
It's a good bit.
Do you ever have things that you have from years ago that you'll still laugh at? Mm-hmm. I remember seeing my friend Ben fall up a hill and I just...
Oh my God.
I still love it. I can replay it in my head. Like, he fell up a hill and he went, fuck's sake. Like, by himself, just kind of going, fuck's sake. He was grumpy about falling
up a hill.
Funnier than when someone falls just
falling
like
is
on
good,
their own.
but I just think
trip up slightly and then just keep walking. Oh, so
I
good.
just like having things that you can just replay. It's amazing how that will stick with you.
Whenever I slipped or I would always just like, to save myself from embarrassment, I would just scream. I would like fall on the ground, like, ah! And then I'm like, now it's not. Now people aren't laughing at me because they're concerned for a second.
Yeah. I remember doing that a lot as a kid. When you fall over, you're so embarrassed, you actually just start crying. So it's that like, well, now they can't laugh at me because I'm actually hurt, even though you're actually just crying from embarrassment.
I was on the phone and I was walking on College Green, and
That's so funny.
I kind of like
so
I don't know,
funny.
like I fell
phone
over
is so
nothing.
funny.
I was on the phone and I fell like to my knees. I was like on both knees. I don't know what happened. I don't know. The way you're on the phone. By the way, that's a bugbear
Did you
of mine.
hear the angels' voices? Is that what happened?
Fall on your knees. People on the phone need to learn that you're distracted when you're on the phone and they move around the world incredibly erratically.
Yes.
And it's been bothering me lately. That's been bothering me lately.
Bugbear.
But I fell onto both knees and it was at the bus stops there where the Abercrombie and Fitch was there at the time, and there was this girl at the bus. And I've said this before, a group of young girls is much scarier than a group of young boys for different reasons. But they were like, oh my God. And then I was kind of glad I was on the phone because she was laughing already. And then somebody's like, are you all right? And I was like, oh my God. So I was glad I was on the phone because I said, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I just fell in front of everyone at the bus stop. And then people kind of laughed and I just kind of booted it off. That was where I was supposed to get the bus. But I was like, I guess I'm walking home instead. I was like, booted up the thing because I couldn't then go to the next bus stop because the same pricks.
No, you trip, you tumble, you turn it into a bit of a dance and then you run. That's normally the kind of
got on the bus at the next stop and they were all
there.
At the back, and they were like, "Oh,
there he is."
After fucking going to the next stop, I'm so fucking embarrassed.
Here he is now. We're only have been talking about you falling.
They're still laughing at you.
Yeah.
They're doing impressions of you down the aisle of the top bus.
Yeah.
That is all to say, and sort of bring it back is that.
What would they do for you?
No,
the
I was literally talking about.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This guy who copied my video.
Oh yes, the Kuchen guy.
So
he's so funny.
We were talking about this before you came in, but I got to.
So refreshing to see a German comedian who's got like lovely handsome face, isn't it? So different
He
take
does.
on it.
I have to say, has beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
He has a real Euro face.
He looks gorgeous.
He
I
does.
can't fault this man. He's a beautiful, beautiful person. But I got to
You
make
know
him-
that dick be big though, right?
Yes.
You know
comes
that
in
be
swinging.
big, right?
I feel like if I saw him on holidays when I was a teenager, I'd be confused coming home. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like,
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
You were looking after yourself one evening and then an image of him came
He just
into your
popped
head.
in and I'm like,
Yeah.
leave that there.
Yeah. Anyway, did you reach out to
Well,
him?
I got to make him my boy.
Yes.
I got to make someone my
You
boy
did.
this week.
Great.
Which was great. I
This
got to
is
make
your
him a little
time.
boy. I was kind of thinking about what I could do. I was like, oh, well, I call him out in the stories, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm not. I don't like doing that. I don't like conflict in that kind of way. I don't think it solves anything. I don't like using anger in that kind of way. But I was like, well, I can. One option remains. I can make this man my boy.
So to clarify what make this man my boy is, I mean, it sounds saucier than it is. Basically, it's like when you, because we were talking about when you get in trouble and you're like, oh my God, I'm the boy.
Yeah,
I'm the
you
little
get in
boy.
trouble, yeah.
And I've been caught.
Yeah.
And then there's a grown up being like, hey, and you have to take it.
Yeah.
Because, you're a little
It's
boy.
essentially being allowed to take the moral high ground on someone
Yes.
and them having to totally placate to you and
Yes.
just accept it. When you're in the right and the person's in the wrong and you enjoy it for what it is,
Yes.
a beautiful bowl of sweet, delicious
It was
dessert.
worth him slighting you.
Yes.
So that you could be the big one and he could be the boy.
Made my week.
Yes.
Him copying my video word for word honestly made my week.
Well, don't keep us in suspense any longer.
And the listeners
can we
are all
talk
about how many?
How did you go about making?
So he got 1.1 million views.
Oh my God!
He didn't credit me. Then people started tagging. Then he credited me in the caption, and then eventually.
But he deleted the people tagging you, didn't he?
He deleted some of the things because I saw some people had mentioned
He was deleting,
them, and then
so he was trying to act like he could come up with it.
Oh, he liked me in the conversation we had. So this is first sort of making it. And let me tell you, when the opportunity is there to act the bigger person, even though I'm absolutely not doing that.
Yes.
I'm doing this because I want you to think I'm so much better than you. So I take that opportunity. I say, hey man, exclamation mark. I appreciate you were just making videos and having fun.
You're doing your little videos.
You're doing your little...
Yeah.
Okay? But that's my video idea. It's my concept and my writing. I'm a professional comedian. This is how I make my living.
Wow.
I am making him my boy.
Yes.
I
very much
understand
so.
that you gave credit after people started saying something, but it's all my words, my writing and concept. No original spin. It's the same thing, a copy. I don't really appreciate it. I wish you all the best.
Oh.
Did you write to him in English? Because
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
I did, yeah, because his video's in English.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to,
If he writes back in German, he might boy.
I want this to be in my battleground,
Yeah,
I have the home advantage here.
Yes.
I don't want to fuck around in his. This is. I don't want this to be an away leg in some tough European stadium.
Whale egg.
An away leg.
I don't want this to be a whale leg. Can we
phrase?
start making that one of those things that happen?
They're mammals.
You know the way
A whale egg it doesn't exist.
I would sooner think that whales lay eggs than know what an away leg is.
And you went to the Europa League final. But you know the way Americans they say, I could care less.
Yes.
It's like, to be honest, I could care less. It's like, okay.
That's a whale egg.
That's a whale leg.
That is a whale egg, yeah.
Oh, God.
A whale leg.
Sorry, I'm not to make a whale leg out of this, but like... I'm going to find a way to use that. But
Not to make a whale egg out of a minnow egg.
It's kind of, not to make a whale egg out of what was your
A
one?
minnow egg?
Minnow. What's
Tiny
a minnow?
little fish.
Okay.
Minnow egg.
Well, it needs work.
His response, hey man, I totally understand. I actually mentioned you in the caption from the beginning. But since people didn't see that, I added a pinned comment to the video as well. Okay, so not really addressing any of my things. Also lying to my face because he has the same video on TikTok, which he has not put me in the caption for. And he also hadn't done it in that one. I saw that. But I'm like, I'm too big a person to do it. Then I sent him a bit of an essay, which I don't know if I'm so proud of it. I would be slightly embarrassed, but I don't know if I should read it.
Okay.
But I tried to start a conversation with him about, I wanted him to understand that what he's doing is wrong. Like, I do firmly believe that this type of, there's something interesting in the internet culture about, people jumping on different trends and adding their own spin on it and something like that. And, there might be something funny in like a German doing something that's not like the exact same word for word, but maybe like Germans offering
Inspired
things
by.
and Polish people offering things and adding some new element to it.
Yes.
And starting some sort of trend. I think there's something there. And that's what's cool about the internet. You see this kind of collaborative thing happen. He didn't do that.
No.
And I wanted him to know that what he did was wrong.
Can I just say, I think this is one of those things you could be tweeting about and then you'd get yourself on the radio programs.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not forget the media landscape in which we exist here in Ireland.
Yeah.
You just say this, you spoke very seriously there on this comedy podcast, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love
we
it.
can hold space for that.
Okay, thank you.
But I think if you start tweeting about this, people will get you on the radio.
I don't want to go on the radio and talk about this. But I mean,
All right,
Maybe talk about the EU
basically, I'll read his. I basically said, like, you know.
Shit. Say that again. Say I don't want to go on the radio.
I don't want to go on the radio.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want to make a whole way leg out of it.
Hey!
Anyway, look, I don't know if this is, but I basically went at him saying, like, you know, you made a video. It's got 1 million views. It's my idea. Like, that's bullshit. It's, you know, you need to add your own spin on it.
Take it down.
And he's like, he's asking me to
down.
ask him to take it down, which I think is fucking manipulative.
Oh, he's asking you,
He said,
if you want me to take
I'm
it down,
you
I
fucking
will.
take it down on your own accord. I want you to know this is wrong. I'm kind of trying to get you to just fucking, you know, see that this is a dumb thing to do. You should take it down. You should be embarrassed right now.
He's turned the whole thing into a wayleg. Like,
Yeah, he's waylagging. He's waylagging me. Now he said, this is what really annoyed me. He did all this thing saying, hey, I'm sorry, I blah, blah, blah. Now I can see how it could potentially affect your work and my work and reputation in a negative way.
Wow.
If you'd like me to take it down, please let me know. I'm like, you just fucking do that on your own accord. I'm not going to tell you. But then he said, otherwise, I'll keep the comment and hopefully make some more people aware of your work. It'll look good on my CV.
Oh!
What are you, my second? You're going to goshka me?
It's just, you've just been goshked.
It'll look good on my CV.
Wow.
Great experience, great exposure. I don't need that, Yannick.
That is a good shorthand for, like, it's great exposure.
Yeah,
Getting goshked.
He goshked me. Anyway, that guy's a wanker. He did follow me, and I'm like, I'm not following you. Like, you know, leave me alone.
I wonder how long he's gonna. I think you should check weekly to see if he still follows you.
Yeah.
If I was him, I would have followed you and then deep mute, which is mute story and post, and you'd never see him again.
I don't know. I just don't have time for that kind of thing.
But you did change his mind.
I did not. He kept the video up. Him keeping the video up indicates that he's like, got away with that one. I got some cuck of an Irishman who's too scared to properly, you know.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
I could have gone
moral high ground here.
Yeah, he's my little boy. So I mean, I guess if I ever go to Germany, I've got someone who can get me stuff and you know, an assistant essentially.
Just to say, no one look up this man and message him or comment on Killian's
Can I just say that? Please do not do that. Like I have no. You can see in how
you said we're at war. I said
don't
do it.
Sorry.
I said don't do it. Don't do
We're
it.
at war. No, I really would appreciate it if no one did that because. I didn't, like, you can see in the way I interact, I don't want him to get any hate or anything like that. I just want us to collectively despise him from a distance in the way, a good old fashioned way, you know?
Can I just, though, credit you? Obviously, you're a very funny actor and you've got a very funny face. There's another compliment coming here. But the fact that it is your writing done by someone who probably comedy isn't their forte.
Obviously
that
not.
just the writing alone and the recreation landed again, twice. It landed. That is such good writing that even in the hands of someone who is a thief, you have made them, like, this is magic. That is pure fucking condensed ether that you were able to write.
The hand of a thief could rule the world. You're saying.
I just think it's incredible that you're able to, you know.
That's really good. That makes me feel really good.
I'm happy
Say,
to
look at what a good pal Tony Cantwell is.
God.
We mocked him. Sure, we considered kicking
and
him
Tony,
off the podcast.
Tony, you know what?
Look at what a good mate he is. He
Shane
spins
was
that
trying to
around
say
and gives
stuff
them-
about you when you weren't here at the start of the podcast, and I was defending you. I was really defending you.
No, you're definitely right. I've been
Hillary
late a
was
lot. I'm
saying a
sorry.
lot.
Oh my God,
Hillary
was
was
Hillary, oh no.
She's
actually not even here. She's
not even here. She's so
She's left.
pissed off.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're
God.
gonna have to go and get her something. No, Shane was just saying some awful stuff about you, but I was like, no, Tony's a fucking good guy. I'm sure.
No, I do
great
need to
reasons.
knock the lateness on the head. I mean, I should have looked for all this stuff ahead of time. All right, what can there be like a forfeit? You guys can think of a forfeit for me the next time that I'm late.
All right, when we go out into the canteen area, you
Yeah.
have to jock yourself in front of all the birds.
Oh my God! Can I at least tuck it in my butt? Who am I now? I don't know who always is it.
Angina.
Can I chuck it in so you don't see it like I'm do a fruit ball?
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's awful now.
That's awful. Joan, I was thinking of recently.
What?
Enlighten us.
All right.
We're on the edge of our seat.
Do you know when, like, it doesn't happen much these days because you kind of know where you're going to go for dinner. You know, you'll look up a place and you'll probably go ahead of time. You've probably done a bit of work. But you know, you're walking around, you might pop into a town and you see outside they have the Lucinda O'Sullivan kind of.
Yes.
You know, Lucinda O'Sullivan.
No.
Seal of excellence outside.
That's a chef?
I think she's an author, but like, basically it's.
What is it's
you might see them a lot.
food,
You know,
though.
you might see these things that have like stars and they say like, you know, 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And Lucinda O'Sullivan's always the one. I'm always thinking when I see one, it's like, you know, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2024. And I'm like, what happened? What happened in that gap?
That's true.
And I love to just fantasize about, was there a head chef? Was there a controversy? Was there a rat infestation? I love the fact that you're kind of bought into the Lucinda O'Sullivan placard game. And if you miss a year, everyone is kind of like, ooh.
Well, let's not forget that people like those who write those magazines and all that stuff, they're leeches on someone else's creativity and hard work. So let's forget that that's what that is.
Weird pivot, but cool. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, she's a leech. Like, all those people are leeches. It's just like, oh, they have a restaurant and think, I'm going to say what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
That's my job. I'm like, shut up.
You don't need it anymore.
No, that is annoying. Do you know what it gave me? I had to attack her because that's what I'm feeling, that same fear of making the second show, because I feel like I make my second show and the people will go to it and they'll be like, yeah, it was good. I loved it last year now. I much preferred the one he did before. But that was good.
Yes.
It wasn't. That's my fear at the moment.
I think you need
difficult
to look at
second album, sophomore
You're going to
album.
have Lucinda O'Sullivan 2023 and then Lucinda O'Sullivan 2025 and everyone will be like, what happened in 2024?
Do you know what part of me hopes as well? Part of my plan in comedy was to do something that's a really big project and then it flops and fails. And then I would but
Good
I'd
plan.
somehow have
Good thing
enough,
that was a plan all along.
No, wait.
Sorry.
So when that thing flops and fails, so the first thing is okay, second thing flops and fails, and I go underground. Now, I don't know, somehow, if I was like a pop star, I'd be able to live off my money from my first album. That doesn't apply to a comedian.
No.
Then I was thinking, wouldn't it be good if you flop and fail, and then like 2 years later, and I come back and like, I look in great shape, and I've done like really hard work on myself, and I'm like, rather than being like on Ireland I Am, no shade,
Turkey teeth and a full head of hair.
not turkey teeth, but like, do you know what I mean? Just a bit more wizened from age, but in a kind of distinguished, handsome way. And rather than being on, Ireland AM or 2FM, I'm on like the Culture magazine and the Guardian, and it's like Shane Daniel Byrne on successes, flops and failures. And his
an article
new
in the New
project.
Yorker.
A long
article.
read.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of
That is a
part of my
great
career plan.
Blind Boy
anyway.
recovery
podcast.
plan. That is a brilliant, like it's a
Yeah,
great,
but
brilliant
what am I
pivot.
gonna
I'm
do
kind
for
of thinking
job?
of you as like a fisherman with
When
a
you
pipe.
come back.
And you're
Something,
kinda
something like that. Like I have a gorgeous jacket on.
Oh, yeah.
It's designer, but it's old, but it's definitely designer.
I'm thinking, who is that? Like, who's
Shane
was
Byrne,
it? Usually presenters
comedian,
do that,
philosopher.
don't they? They kind of like they've maybe been sacked or whatever like that, and they kind of go away, and then they come back, and they have that kind of wizened kind of. It's usually presenters, isn't it? Like I'm trying to picture. I can picture kind of big Irish heads of usually met lads who kind of do that, and you're like, oh, look at him now. What's he doing? Nothing. But look, this looks really important.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would say if I can give you an honest answer to that.
Thanks. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
That you'll definitely have bits in this new show that you're like, oh, I actually tried something there, and I think I've grown as a performer in that, and I think that's enough to take away from it as the whole success. And also, like, we're not albums. We're kind of, there's too many of them. There will be too many hours that you will do in your lifetime for it to be as important as an album. Or it might just be, if you look at the overall, like how many albums Bruce Springsteen has, or how many albums, I don't know, the Rolling Stones have, like Thin Lizzy, like how many albums you're like, oh, well, like there's 3 great ones, but that doesn't mean that the rest are shit. Do you know what I mean?
Bruce Springsteen, the man's in his 70s.
Man's in his 70s.
He's did 3 hours straight, he did.
1 million people in Ireland, which is insane.
Yes, it is
1
mad.
million people he's performed to in Ireland.
It's incredible.
He sold a million tickets.
Yeah.
That's 1 in 5.
He should be the new Uchtron.
I have stuff about Uchtron.
Well, before we get into that, I want to say one more thing.
It's
too
important.
It is too
important.
This is now 2 weeks ago.
No, this is
2 weeks ago, but
So-
this is still good. Someone gave me Uchtron. Enda wrote it. We normally don't read things out on main, but I thought this was important because I quite liked it. So the other week, if you weren't listening, we were talking about why the Uchtron and Uchtarocha. What's the similarity
Tony
there?
asked quite a good. If I was his teacher, I'd say that's a very good question, Tony. I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah.
But he asked,
So
why
you
is
don't
Uchtaron
know.
and Uchtarocha?
So you don't
Don't
know.
know. So
That's a
so
very
Can
good
I
First
see
of all-
your leaving results, actually?
anyway, Enda
So you
also
insert
wrote to me
back
in
there.
February and said, "Just want to thank you for a great night Thursday in Limerick. My wife and I just loved it. So much fun. Had a great tour."
Oh, was that the wrong message?
Sorry,
One sult
well,
os fecami Arish who, right? So he was already a bit of Gaelgate in the message from the past.
Love it.
Anyway, he said, "Hey Shane, the Uchtarocha thing is actually pretty interesting in an etymological way, nerdy but not funny. Now, I'm into that kind of thing myself. Uchter is cream. Uchtarocha is literally frozen cream. Now, as we know, cream rises to the top. This gives it a second meaning, upper or top. Hence, uchtaron. Uchtarach can be used to describe something as being above something else, like in a stadium when you go see whoever, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
For
let's just
example.
use-
So the upper circle seats, they may be siachan uchtarach, with the upper seats. Iachtarach kind of like Iach. Now, Andy, you'll have to get on what story with Iach there is then the lower level. Finally, a good phrase is an láv in uachtar. Like, bhí an láv in uachtar agam sa chluiche. That means I had the upper hand in the game. And in your Cora, the disgusting evil German, you might say that I think you had the láv in uachtar.
I was the uachtar. He was the ichter.
Yes, he is the ichter.
He is my little ichter.
I will
My
make you
little
my.
ichter egg.
I will make you my ichter. You will call me uchter.
So isn't that good?
That's incredible. I
Send a
love
little
that.
voice note of that,
Isn't
actually.
that
I love
good?
that. That just stems to cream.
So
As
good
you know,
market end. Yeah, just like the
just
president is
fucking
called cream.
I love
Cream
it.
rides the top.
You just think of them just churning fucking cream, making butter.
Well, cream rides the top, but also sometimes shit floats. So
So
what's that about, Enda?
Yannick, my little ichter boy.
Yes,
Imagine sent him a really drunk voice note.
Yeah.
Yannick, my little ichter boy.
It's like, oh, this
You thought
fucker
you
again.
got rid of me, didn't you? Here's a sketch. I'm a cunt.
Redo that one, bitch.
Write this one down with your million views.
You say, oh, it's that guy who doesn't understand how TikTok works again. He doesn't understand that's what everyone does. Fuck, here he is again. No, you're dead right, and you are the Uchter, just to say.
I'm the Uchter. The German Uchter.
The Uchter to my Uchter. Oh, God, I love it.
I do like that.
I'm actually delighted with that. Did you get other messages or did Enda also message
Well,
you?
we got other people asking us about. We got a lot of people saying the
About
exact
the
same
Uachtaráin
thing.
and Uachtaráin.
We got like an email from someone, and I just want to shout out people.
Uachtaráin is president and Uachtaráin is ice cream. That's what it's about. For
Yeah,
us.
we got
Roach
one. We got
ice.
one from
Rocha, I guess, is frozen, but it could be frozen to do with food. Another way, sometimes languages like that.
Weird.
There's
No,
a
I
beautiful
think that-
joke in Arrested Development. You know when he speaks, Buster speaks Arabic because he trained in the army, and then they're like, he's arguing with the cab driver, and then he's like, what did he say? He's like, oh, something about. He's like, I think he said something about laundry, but kind of like a child's laundry. We don't have a word for it.
That's so funny.
No, we read out their
Delicious.
correspondences on the bonus podcast. So that's if you want to.
It's not just that as well.
It's not just that, but that's
no,
where
we
it's
play
more
games,
kind of
we
the
get to
friends
know
club.
each other a lot
I
more.
saw a good ice joke on Friends. Monica opens the fridge, a bit of ice pops out, and it gets in her eye.
Yes.
And she's going down, she's freaking out. And then I was like, oh my God. Chandler says, do you want me to put some ice on it?
Oh, that's
yeah.
very funny.
I was like,
She can't go to the eye doctor because her eye doctor is Richard.
And then it turns out it's Richard's son. And then
he's
she
like,
starts
Dr.
having a
Burke. No,
relationship.
not Dr. Burke. Dr. Burke is away. It's like, no, Dr. something Burke, his son. Oh.
There's so much weird shit that happens in that show. She starts trying to date her ex-boyfriend's fucking son.
The love of her life.
And then
The man she wanted to
then
marry.
Ross, in the one that I'm watching now, is going out with one of his fucking students. And then Bruce Willis
Yes.
Yes.
is the dad. And then Rachel starts going out with the dad. And I'm like, they were married.
These are disruptive people who need to stay out of other people's lives. They ruin everything that they touch, those friends.
I do love them though. It's a real
Those
comfort.
friends.
Those friends.
Those friends.
I've moved past Friends as a comfort food.
Me too.
I have not. I still enjoy
I haven't
it.
recovered from
Tell
the
you
death
who I
of Matthew
hate.
Perry.
People who try and take like, oh, I don't watch that. They love to say that their comfort thing is like Curb Your Enthusiasm because they show you just how clever they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm into that. While I do believe some people it is their comfort food, some people just want to be. It's like people who say, I don't see, what is it called? We don't even have a TV. Like, we don't even have a TV. We just watch TikTok all night.
We just
and
play
have
violin all evening.
Yeah, we just have our laptops open at all times, but we don't own a TV. But I do watch every single thing and every single show, and I download shows, and I watch TikTok while I'm watching the shows. But we don't have a TV. We
No,
Do
we
you know?
don't have
No,
TV.
the
Don't have a
TV
TV.
is the new kind of like
Book.
book. So it's TV. Watching like terrestrial television is a new book, and we do that, and I fucking love it. I feel so. I'm
Grounded.
I need to get off. I'm actually. I know we talk about it a lot, but I think I'm going to order some sort of like flip phone or something like that,
Really.
and then just watch TV all day. And I think that's my future.
I mean, think about it. There was like panic about TV, which was like, this is brain rot. Like to watch the news and to watch cowboy, shows and cartoons was like, this is Bart Simpson was an epidemic.
Yeah.
And that was the idea of brain rot and junk food for your brain.
So
And,
what's
oh
a
my God.
podcast?
I think podcast is the antidote to that. to
Don't
be honest.
answer that question.
Oh, don't
Don't
even.
bloody answer that question. It's the antidote too.
The antidote to that kind of brain rot. I think it's educational. I think it's important.
We all learned an awful lot about Uachtaráin and the etymological
Uachtar,
different,
Eater.
roots there.
Also, beforehand, what were you doing? Like hoovering to the sound of the Hoover? Do you know what I mean? bullshit.
That is, but you know, when like older
like it now,
generations though
Sounds like a poem.
can just you know they say there's like cliches they do on the internet now, but they memes about it like that older men will just raw dog a flight. Like,
yeah, wild.
Like we are. How do we do? Like I don't know. Do you remember? I feel I'm young enough. I'm young enough to be strapped into my phone at all times, but old enough to remember that when you got the bus somewhere, you just left your house and stood at the bus stop until it came.
Wild.
And you looked in the direction. I think that's like, I thought it would be wild to someone who's 10 years my junior, I think, wouldn't they?
Do you know what's
They'd
funny?
be like, what do you mean? It was like, we just looked ahead.
It's wild
It's
for,
insane.
like, if you ever forget your phone or something like that, it's wild for 3 minutes. And then you actually just sit on the bus and you're just like, absolutely content in your thoughts. Like it actually takes very
and then you
short
sleep
amount
in your
of time.
van.
You're just like that's reference to something. I'm actually getting work done on the van at the moment.
Are you?
Yeah, we're
bloody thing's a money pit.
it is
The bloody
Yeah,
money
good way
pit.
to
It's
lose
all
money,
well and
the
good
bloody
when you're
van.
driving around Tarifa or wherever else you head off, but then when I come home, the brass tacks is it's a money pit. It's a false economy.
I had to do some real like manly things this week that I was so talking to a lot of people. Like I had to talk to people in scrapyards and try get a new door for the van.
You had to DM a stranger about your little videos.
I had to do. Yeah, well, that was. I kind of enjoyed doing that. That's my domain. But I was outside of my domain. I was with people talking. I had a mechanic say to me the other day. He was like, "Now, are you mechanically minded?" And I was just like, "I do not want to say no here. Like, I feel like I will get in so much. I will be just like looked down upon so much if I say no." So I was like, "Yeah, kind of, yeah."
Oh, no.
And then he explained the inner workings of the locking system of a Ford Transit 2008. It's a magnet thing that goes back and forth, and I was just like, "Yeah." And that would reverse. I kept like adding little things that I thought would help, and it was just
Show,
he would
ask
just
questions.
look at me like,
yeah.
"What?"
Oh
I'd
no.
be like, "Okay, so like magnets like what you have in the fridge," and he'd be like,
what?
"Yeah."
Like where you keep your milk?
He just stopped explaining to me. All right, magnets like what my dad had.
That big magnet. I felt like a man this morning. I was walking Sunny. I attached his Captain America shield to his bike with some zip ties, and I put like a kind of little like masking tape A on his helmet because he wanted to look like Captain America on a bike. Anyway, we were heading to. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. Kind of dad shit. And then I was walking. I was chatting to one of the other dads who happens to live in the estate. We were walking up, and I was telling him all the stuff I was kind of doing with the garden. He was like, cutting the grass, painted the wall, hang up the trellis and all this. And then he was like, oh, that's cool. And then we got to the crash. He was like, hang on a second. And there was 2 cars. And he was like, he stood out on the road and he backed out both the cars. And I'm like, I've just been outmanned.
Oh my God.
Because he backed out the car. And it was almost like, I have to do this. I'm the only one that can do this. I would never do that.
Was he looking at you directly in the eye?
He was, no, he was, yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah,
staring at you directly in the eye back.
I'm coming for your wife. You just got cooked.
Why is backing cars such a
I don't know.
thing?
But he seems so comfortable in it. I feel like I would look like a, wacky waving inflatable arm man out there. It's like this man looks so out of place. His limbs are rubber.
Because you have to be able to stop a whole street of traffic sometimes. Like if cars come along, you just put your hand up.
1 second there.
Yeah.
Sit back in this car out.
All right, just backing out this car.
We live.
I don't want you running over me, so I'm going to put my hand out, right?
I grew up on a very busy main road with like 3 lanes of traffic, and my dad, every parking is parallel parking. And over the years, my dad parked many people's cars.
Wow.
For them, or he would direct them?
No, he would just, they would go in and take, will you go in and park it? You go out and park it. Now, he only parked ladies' cars. And I was thinking about this and I was like, has that kind of thing changed where men are expected to just help women with their car whenever they want? And I was like, this isn't a feminist issue. The women just couldn't be arse spending time parallel parking. Whereas a man's thing is like, oh no, hold on, I'm going to get it. Whereas she's like, I'll just go and ask him to do it.
Oh,
and I actually
100%.
think it's not an issue of like, oh, a man come save the day. I was like, the women are just actually smarter because they're like,
this is going to save me.
I can't be
so
arsed
long.
going in there with this. I'll be sweating, and then people will be behind me, and then a bus will come, and they're just like, he'll do it.
Yeah.
I was like, why
He's
not?
delighted. He's probably like,
Oh
they
my
couldn't.
God.
I'll
I
roll
was
up my
thinking
seat.
of taking this
Absolute
on
idiot.
of like
That's a
just-
flex. Like that's a serious scout badge flex. Is great at parallel parking. Is such a.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd pay €500.
I might take it on.
I'm all right.
At one time, I was at a very busy place, and
Park
the
off.
studio, and in the studio of and they had to move my car to get the bin behind it, and I was like, this is so stressful. And now I wonder if that kind of thing happens again. They're like, is that your car? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, here's the keys. Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Move it. I'm not driving in front of everybody looking at me.
Hey, don't steal it, right?
Yeah. I've counted the change and what all the rest of it.
Don't steal it. Hey, valet, don't be stealing my car, all right? I'll give you the keys. Just please bring it back, all right? I do feel weird though when someone kind of takes the keys. Like I've had my car valeted before, and like one of these car parks, and you pull in and they like do give it a nice clean, just kind of like giving them the car, and then they bring it around, or like the NCT or whatever, and they're like just driving it around.
Like the van, I get to give the keys to the guy, and he said that'll be a few days, and I'm like, when am I gonna get that car back? You can just drive off in it. Won't get very far, but
It's a magnet. They're like a fridge magnet.
Like a fridge.
Kind of like a fridge magnet. So if I put a magnet in there, that'll lock the door. That's good to know. I have some wooden ones that have like different animals, and they fit together like a jigsaw. Will that work if I put it on the side of the door? Dumb question.
I like the idea of some kind of sketch of like, have you got a jigsaw at home? I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And you mean like a saw?
Yeah.
The jigsaw you have is just a little jigsaw.
Well, that actually happened to me. I said that. I genuinely said that. I was asking someone for a jigsaw, and they were like, "How many pieces do you want?" And I'm like, "No, I need like a saw to cut a piece of wood."
I thought you were the bitch.
Yeah, no, I was actually was the man. It was. I did get the Arnold Schwarzenegger jigsaw as a memento from our time together, so I have that there.
You did get it.
Yeah, but now I don't know what I actually need to use it for. So it's
maybe
gathering.
You could make a jigsaw.
Might make a jigsaw.
Oh yeah, you could. It'd be very intricate and difficult to do.
Do you have any pictures of yourself printed out on wood that I could make that I could cut up and give back to you?
Hey man, hey Yannick, weird question. Do you have any pictures of yourself printed out on wood? It's just like...
Let's add Yannick to the enemies list. Bard.
Yes, Bard
Banned.
from the chat.
Yes.
Bard from
Banned.
the podcast.
Banned from the chat.
Yannick is awful.
Removed from chat.
Removed from chat.
Yeah, he's gone.
I'd be so flattered. I don't think... I think I am barely pulling off my videos being funny just by pulling funny faces,
No,
If it
you're
was so much to recreate.
personality-based.
I'm a personality-based
so
guy.
it's like it's hard to copy that unless they copy your entire vibe, which is arguably what I was trying to do when I started out.
And one of your funniest videos was actually when you did do a pratfall during a kind of nationwide thing. You were walking and then you were kind of really sore out. You were like,
yes.
that was
like, you all right?
Yes.
So funny. And
I'm scared of making videos now. I don't know why.
That was great.
I used to love it.
I think you had a muddy hand in it at the end. That was very good touch.
I think you should make both your stand-up and your videos more disposable in your mind and less of a piece.
No, because when I finish this show, I'll be putting up clips of that show.
That's great.
So I'm putting that up soon.
Did you have it filmed?
Yes.
Oh.
I actually filmed it a number of times. Filmed it in Vicar Street, filmed it in Edinburgh, filmed it in Smock-Alley, filmed it many times.
Okay.
Well, is it going to be cut together?
Just because in case you become super successful and years later they want like footage of you, I think it's important to keep those.
Very clever.
When they want to make a documentary about you on Channel
VH1,
4,
MTV.
Guardian Culture section,
Guardian Culture.
all that.
Okay, when you
like,
come back, the fisherman beard and the pipe in your
back.
mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing back then.
This was, of course, before Trouble Denim.
Yeah, I might put all this stuff into the show, actually. That's actually, it seems like fun. But see, then I feel like,
Jim
I feel
Carrey
scabby.
did that. I think you're talking about a Jim Carrey vibe.
I'm not talking about Jim Carrey, I'm talking about Shay Daniel Byrne.
No, but okay. But no,
Okay.
a model to follow.
What did he do?
Well, he kind of, he had a lot of traumatic things happen to him, but he came back kind of this philosophical
Wizened
figure.
wizard.
Wizened person.
Then he did Sonic, and it was honestly some of his best work.
Really?
He's incredible as Dr. Robotnik, yeah. He's very good.
There was 2 Sonics when we were kids. We were talking this the other day, me and Raymond. There was a Sonic that was like,
For babies, kind of.
for babies,
Young.
and then there was a scary, sexy
Yeah,
Sonic.
yeah. Blue streak speeds by.
Yeah, his friend was a
Sonic the
robot, and
Hedgehog.
that was just it.
I had a...
She's a robot, so Dr. Robotnik turned into a robot. So
yeah,
she's effectively dead. Okay?
Yeah.
Who's the other one? There's Sonic, and then there's
Tails.
His Tails is the...
yeah.
But I fancied, I had my first sexy dream about the girl that was in that. Now she is, I don't know, some sort of chipmunk or whatever. But she was like, I was like 11 or whatever. I was like, a sexy dream better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was always, when we were playing, I was always have to be the second. I'd always
be
have to
Tails?
Yeah, like when, because I've got older siblings, and then I was the youngest of 3 until my little brother came along, thank God.
Yes.
And he could be, but I was then too old to play. But like I would always have to be Tails. Like Niels would be Sonic, or Carlo would be whatever.
Knuckles.
And I was like the secondary character. I don't know if you guys had to do that.
I did, yeah.
And it's tough.
My
tough
brother got to
life.
pick. My brother was Michelangelo, and that was that. Love the Turtles. Like that. He was Michelangelo, and there was no discussion.
debate, yeah.
it
Of
was
the
just like-
brothers, who would be most taking his identity of Michelangelo away? Is he the party dude? Are you the party dude?
maybe I think it might be me.
You'd be Leo or Donnie, I think maybe.
I think he's getting married. That's not very cool.
No,
Michelangelo wouldn't get married.
We would play.
you're cool but rude.
Crude.
Cool but rude. Yeah.
You think I'm rude? You show up half an hour late or more, and you think I'm rude.
You're rude.
We have different standards of what rude is. You come in and insult us.
Little
you
thing
plug your
called
show.
manners.
No, you do with the best probably one-liners out of the 4 years. No?
Quips.
Quips.
Yeah.
You're the quippy
Oh,
one.
no, we were always funny at home, you know.
Raphael is cool, but
My
rude.
parents were funny, you know. That was the thing. We're funny. You didn't have much, but you had jokes. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have much. We didn't have, we didn't have foreign holidays, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We didn't have the latest, this, that, and the other. But we were happy, we had our jokes.
I think we should change the conversation, change the narrative about Irish storytelling, because I actually don't think Irish people are very good at storytelling, and I think they're actually much better at having jokes. Like, we only talk through jokes. And that's what happens sometimes, where like you're joking around, and then all of a sudden someone just and Americans, I don't think a lot of time understand that, where they might just start talking, and I'm like, oh, there isn't a joke at the end of this, and you have to kind of like rejig your mind. People are kind of like fencing, joke in, joke out.
Yeah.
Joke in, joke out. And that's a conversation amongst people. And then someone will be like, yeah, that reminds me of the time I was Lake Michigan. And it's so big. It's almost like, it's like the sea.
Thing where you go,
and you're
yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. And then
You're just saying a thing.
Oh,
Fine.
yeah.
And it's maybe there's something wrong with us that we're like expecting, but we do want a bit of a payoff. If you say something, there better be, unless it's informative.
There's a
Don't
bit
bring
of
me there and not finish me off.
Yeah.
hey.
No, I'm talking jokes. I'm talking jokes.
There is a bit of truth in that, of like, making light of things and having fun and being ironic about even things that are challenging. But I think there's also then a group of Irish people who are so desperately afraid to have a feeling. They're so frightened of it. And they're like, we just have a laugh, don't we? That's what we do. We have a laugh at anything, don't we? We make everything into a joke. That's what we do. You can't take us seriously. In Irish, we don't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to have a feeling. You need to sit inside your feeling and sit and ride it out till the
I
end.
would say, and I think Irish people are incredibly melodramatic and like almost Italian in how they deal with things sometimes. Like if you listen to the music and all that kind of stuff, like it's all very emotional, melodramatic kind of stuff. Like there is that side of it as well, I think. And like we're great storytellers as well. We're getting too close to it.
No,
Be careful.
It reminded me once we were at, where were we? Oh my God, Lake Michigan. And enough of a joke.
Yeah, that's good.
That was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a callback to, it was good. No, it was very good.
Yeah.
I had to, we would play, give you a list of the fucking sub-characters that I was in my life that I've played. So Peter Stringer was the star. So when we would play rugby, Niels would be Peter Stringer, I would be Keith Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Could you not have been Ronan O'Gara?
No, we wouldn't have been around. Like, this is when we were kids.
Are they not around the same time?
He would have been, but no, this is like early, like this is the late 90s.
Okay, well, I
early
really put myself on the line saying Ronan O'Gara, and
Hey,
you
and
shot
that's
me
good.
right back down.
I want to hold space for that.
Thank you.
You being wrong
Thank you.
sometimes.
And that's okay.
But no, I would. Another one was we would do Robin Hood, and I was actually quite a talented with the.
Archer?
You can get like really good
bow and arrow.
bow
I
and
had a
arrows
few
in
over
Germany.
the
Ones
years.
that you can't get like fun ones that you can play. I was actually really good at it. I was real talented. Niels would be Robin Hood. I had to be William Scathlock.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. Will Scarlet, they call him sometimes.
So I'm not au fait with English mythology. Was that from your time in England, being an Englishman, that you learned all about that?
Well, yeah. If you want to, if you want to say,
favourite of all
actually,
of
it is.
Britain's.
It's a revolutionary person who steals from the rich and gives to the poor. So yeah, actually, it is an English tale, a tale of an English revolutionary.
Yeah,
and
and
not all English.
At the end of the day, he goes home and nails Maid Marian out of it in his tent.
Well, we would have been 6 and 7, so we wouldn't have been running those storylines.
No. Yeah, fucking hell.
What about D'Artagnan? What's he?
Bet everyone was dirty.
D'Artagnan. I think Carla got to be D'Artagnan.
Well,
Carla got to be
we
D'Artagnan.
watched a show called
D'Artagnan.
I had to be
You watched
Porthos.
D'Artagnan?
I had to be Porthos.
Who's that?
I think Niels
Is
was
that-
Aramis.
Is that Gerard Depardieu? Which one is Chris O'Donnell?
I would like to be that one.
Athos, Porthos, Aramis. D'Artagnan.
Chris O'Donnell never happened.
No.
It never had quite.
No.
It never quite got
It
there.
was about to. Scent of a woman, you were thinking, oh, this is going to happen for him.
Smell of Woman, my granny called it.
Smell of a woman.
I watched that. It's like, I watched that the other day. What was it called? Smell of a Woman. Anyway.
Something funny about that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Fucking smell of a woman in
Smell
there.
of a woman.
I love when they get things slightly
Smell
wrong.
of a woman. My granny had another good wrong thing. Remember the other day, somebody bought something for a PlayStation, and then they were like, "Oh, I got this for Christmas." And they bring your stuff around. She's like, "What is that? Policeman?" That said PlayStation.
Policeman.
Anyway,
Why is that so funny?
policeman. Just to not give a fuck about whatever kids are talking about. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Go,
I've,
fuck.
do you know what? I've seen enough stuff.
Yeah.
I'm done learning the new stuff. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. We have an old relative of ours, and she's kind of like the granny on the dad's side, but she's not really my granny. She's my dad's cousin, which is really old. And when we got the SNES, I was on level 2 of Mario World, the great Mario Sideways one.
Sure.
And she said I was in Dooga Dooga Dooga.
Mm-hmm.
You do it probably better.
I'm on this fucking spot now. Doodle-doodle-doodle.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
And I was on that in the basement, doing that. And then we said, "Oh, this is what Santa brought us." This was maybe Christmas night. She's like, "This is what Santa brought us," and she's like, "Well, you're very good at it," which I've always liked.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
so. You're very
She
good at
hasn't a
it.
clue what's going on. She doesn't understand the relationship between my hands and that controller and the wire going to the TV. What's going on at all? But she just said you're very good at it. And I thought,
My
like,
memory
that's
of
good
my
supportive.
granny, my Oma in Ireland, who's also German, but she lived in Ireland from the age of 18 or whatever, is just her looking at a book and me running in saying which is this fucking thing? It was, we managed to go on the swings and Niels actually went the whole way around or whatever, and her just looking at the book without looking up and going, "Oh wow." She used to say that all the time. "Oh wow." And somehow I was like, "Oh my gosh, she thinks it's incredible." Like, it would work on me. I'd be like, "She thinks it's amazing."
Yeah.
I gotta tell her more stuff.
Tell her everything now.
Yeah,
Guess
she
what? You just
literally
opened
didn't
up.
even hear a word that I said.
I love those videos of people showing their grannies just GTA 5 footage, and it's just this car just speeding down the road, crashing into things, being like, "Oh my god, this was on the news, Grandma." How did they get this camera angle?
Now, we've just been through, that concludes our coverage on the Tony Cantwell downfall. I suppose I'll check in with Tony Cantwell. Tony, how do you think Tony did in that episode after returning so late?
I was expecting him to be a little bit more kind of humble. Again, it came in like he belonged there. I think he should have been kind of showing his pink soft belly a little bit more. Called Shane rude at some point and really act like he was...
What do you think's in store for him in the future now? I mean, what's his next steps?
I mean, I think the lads probably say they don't mind, but probably getting a bit ticked off at the lateness at this stage. And I think something probably has to...
The word, the hashtag Tony is Ichter is trending on Twitter at the minute, and Shane and Killian are Uchter. What do you think that means?
I think
for Tony?
social media very much is the kind of the court of today, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Trial by social media and the cancel culture is key. So, Tony, what do you think Tony should do?
I think he's going to do his best to rise from this, rise from the Ichter to, don't have to be a while till he's Uchter again, but hopefully he hopes to stay there at the very top.
The cream at the top in store for Cantwell. Well,
I'm the host. So
that's why I was passing it back to you.
Thank you.
So look,
I want to thank my guests today, Killian Sundermann and Tony Cantwell. I've been Jane Daniel Byrne. I am the main host of the show, and thank you so much to all of you for watching. We will be monitoring this story, and don't forget, Tony Cantwell will be on Claire Byrne tomorrow to go through and discuss these allegations. Well, hopefully it's one of those good ones.
Hope she lets me off easy, yeah?
And no, hopefully it's like when your man from 2FM was on and that was funny. All right.
Well, you can also follow the story if you go to HeadStuff Plus. You can follow. There'll be more bonus chat with Tony Cantwell where he really breaks down emotionally and has a real good old cry. And we really, we find out more about those allegations and what's going on at home and exactly why Tony was late. Was there something sexual involved?
And there'll be lots of discussion from Shane Daniel Byrne on it and the Driacht in Blanchardstown on the 7th of June. There are still some remaining tickets for that, and also in Bray in the Memory Dance Centre on the 8th of June, and then of course of the 21st all the way down the line in the Civic Theatre in Tyler for the last shows ever.
Yes. And if you want to see Tony Cantwell on time and on stage, you can do so in Belfast on June the 6th, in Vicar Street on June 14th, and in Munro's in Galway on the 21st of June.
Yeah, thank you very much. Someone called Paul was on sound. Someone else did this and someone else did this. And as a radio show, as if you give a fuck who did what, but we make sure we fit in time to tell you.
Absolutely.
Anyway, thank you very much. Agus Bannock, here's the Angelus.
And thanks, Hilary.
Dong.
They're attractive. They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Killian Shane!